everyone, and welcome to SITTV's newest segment, Meet the SGA. I am here with Matt Hunt today. Hi, Matt Hunt. Thank you for meeting with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So how are you today?
I'm well.
And is this your first time on SITTV?
It is, I think, my first time being interviewed ever, much less on SITTV.
Well, I hope you have a good experience and you enjoy it.
I hope so too.
So before we start talking about the SGA, tell me, are you involved in anything else on campus?
Yeah, a couple things. I'm in Gear and Triangle. I'm in Alpha Sigma Phi and Alpha Phi Omega. I play for the club volleyball team. I do a couple other things here and there. I was involved with the honor board, but can't be while I'm SGA president for conflict of interest and things like that. And a couple of other things here and there. So yeah, a couple of things.
So keep yourself busy.
Yeah, I tried to.
So when did you get involved with the SGA?
It was my freshman year. First semester I was elected to the Senate. And then I believe it was my junior year I was the Speaker of the Senate. Or sophomore year I was Speaker of the Senate. And then up to president after that. So,
You've been doing this for a while now.
Yeah, quite some time.
That's
what, fall 2012 now was the first time
yeah.
I was involved in the Senate.
So what made you want to get involved with the SGA?
So I sat, it was actually at my high school graduation. I sat down and I was really nothing special in high school. I didn't do anything. I got okay grades. I played more rock band than I care to admit. But I didn't do anything. And I sat there at high school graduation. I was like, I could have done a lot more. So I came to college and first semester I was like, okay, I'm not going to do what I did then. So I just got involved with the broad spectrum. That was applying for the honor board and running for that seat, applying for the Senate and running for that seat, joining Great Cliff. I did everything I could. And obviously SGA is something that I'm pretty passionate about and stuck with, while other things have kind of fallen off. But it was one of those things that I figured would be a great way to get involved, meet new people, and dive right into leadership right away, which was fun. I'm glad I did it, definitely.
That's good. That's very good. So now you're president of the SGA, right?
Yeah.
And so tell us, how was campaigning this year, and since you were president last year?
Yeah. So last year was a little different because I ran unopposed last year, which was a bit of a different process. Campaigning really makes you think about what you want the people, the students to know about you.
Right.
Which is cool. So Jess and I thought long and hard about what kind of strategy we wanted to have and what kind of platforms we wanted to run on. It was interesting running against Vinny too, Vinny and Jacob. It was a good time. It was definitely competitive. It was nice to have competition and be competitive with it and really make us focus a little bit on where we wanted to go.
Right.
So it was definitely more enjoyable than running unopposed, I think. Despite the stress of it that week was
right.
quite stressful, but I'm definitely glad it happened that way. So yeah.
Good. So like a good challenge.
Definitely a good challenge. Yeah, definitely a good thing.
So what are some roles that you have as president?
A lot of things. I think the biggest one is being the person on the cabinet is very high level, very general, making sure that none of the cabinet members get too bogged down in day-to-day type things. So making sure the treasurer doesn't get bogged down in the week-to-week additional funding requests or things like that, but always keeps his bigger picture mindset. What is the campus thinking about? Are we handling our finances well on a much larger scale kind of thing? Same thing with Tommy, making sure he's not getting bogged down with a new constitution or a new RSO, but rather making sure that organizations as a whole, the entire Committee on Student Interests, those 100-some-odd organizations, are all doing well as a group, and that Stevens is thriving because of it. So making sure that all of them have a general mindset is something that I've kind of taken on as my role, because it's something I'm particularly good at, is thinking high level, I think. Other than that, it's a lot of administrative liaisoning, so meeting with Dean Ballantyne, developing that relationship with her, and meeting with student life, and doing things for President Favard, and really being the liaison between the administrators and the whole student body, really, but mostly through the Senate. And in that sense, I've really tried to take the Senate and make that something that the administration recognizes in a lot of ways. So a lot of different administrators telling them that when they need student feedback, the system is there for them. So trying to build that relationship between the Senate as a representative of the students and the administration is something that I've personally taken on as one of the things that I do as president. But yeah, those kind of things, as well as the general running cabinet meetings, right. Presenting it at Senate meetings and things like that.
Okay. So for next semester, do you have any special plans?
Really and truly, it's to let my cabinet keep killing it. They have made my job so unbelievably easy and made me look so good for the past semester. I don't think I could screw it up if I tried. And I do want to pursue some of my own initiatives. There's something I've been working on a little bit at a meeting with Sarah Klein, who's the new assistant up in student life, or student affairs, sorry, about a centralized location for student feedback. So a system in which so if you break your phone, right, you log onto Samsung, it tells you, okay, is it your battery, is it your screen, is it your chargers, or something like that. And it's a drop-down list, and it sends it to the right person for you, right? Stevens doesn't have that. If I have a complaint about Res Life, I have to go find where I can complain about Res Life. If I have a complaint about facilities, I have to go find where I can complain about that. So I'm talking to Ed Wozencraft in IT and Sarah Klein about how we can integrate all these things so it's much easier for the student to say, okay, something's wrong. I know where I can go to fix it. And hopefully that's going to make the campus a lot better. But it's something I'm pursuing personally, as well as just kind of letting the cabinet do them and making sure they're all on the right track and they don't burn themselves out too early in the semester. But yeah.
So kind of like customer service for the students?
Yeah, because it's something that so many departments have said to me that they want student feedback.
Yeah.
They really want to make things better. And Res Life's the most prime example of it, especially with dining. They want to make things better. They just haven't heard the student feedback that says, we don't like pistachio ice cream or we do like pistachio. And it's things as simple as that, but also things much more complex. And they want the student feedback. They want to adapt to that. They just don't have a way to get it. So doing everything we can to put the students in contact with the right people at the right time and making it as easy as it can be for the students is something that we've taken on in that sense. But I can't say it enough. More than anything, I'm just going to stand back and let my cabinet do their thing. I mean, Tommy, Jacob, Jess, and Amy, they've all done so well so far, and I'm just going to sit back and let them do their thing. It's going to be great.
Okay. Well, going off of that, do you have a long-term vision, for example, after you graduate for Stevens and the SGA?
For Stevens and the SGA as a whole, that's a broad question. I do a little bit. And it's totally going to depend on what direction the next president and the next cabinet takes it in.
Of course.
But if you had looked at the SGA 2-3 years ago, it would have been this big bad organization that goes and cuts everybody's budgets, and that's about it, right? We handled this big budget of X amount of dollars per year, and that's about all we did. But I've got this kind of vision that we've been developing for some time now, since a summer ago at the retreat, and up till now, is that a structure in which the student government actually represents the student body of Stevens, and a structure where an administrator can reach out to Stevens SGA and say, okay, I want to know what students think about this. I want the students' help in pushing our school forward in this, that, or whatever initiative it might be. And I want to be able to say to them, yes, here's what the students want, confidently. Without having to speculate or think twice about what I'm saying, I can say, okay, I reached out to the Senate, they reached out to their constituents. From everything we can tell, the student body wants to see this garage be built, or this new building be put up, and this is how. So that's my general vision, is to make the SGA something that's useful for not just me and not just the senators, but useful for the student body as an average student, to know that my voice is meaning something and pushing the school in a certain direction. That's kind of the general vision that we've been pursuing for a long, long time now.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for meeting with us.
Of course, thanks for having me again.
Well, there you have it, right from Matt Hunt. Thanks for joining us.